Welcome to Coffee with Janis and Karen. And I think we said this is session 6.
Okay.
Yeah. And chapter 3 of Deuteronomy.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a good one. Okay. So this is the defeat of Og, king of Bashan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is one of those things where they have to go in and kill everybody.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So Og, king of Bashan, is defeated. Everyone is slaughtered, and the Israelites get to keep the plunder. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So can you read verse 11?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
For only Og, king of Bashan, remained of the remnant of giants. Behold, his bedstead was a bedstead of iron. Is it not in Arabah of the children of Amnon?
So it's at the time when Moses was telling them this, they still had that bedstead.
Yeah.
And it was stored somewhere over there, kind of like, I guess, as a museum piece.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it was 9 cubits was the length, and 4 cubits in the breadth thereof, after the cubit of a man. How far you want me to read?
Yeah, so I figured that's about 14 feet by 6 feet. So 14 feet long.
It was a tall man, wasn't
and
he?
6 feet wide.
It's a big old man,
Yeah,
isn't
it is.
Wow.
And it said he was apparently the last of the Rephaites. Yeah, so the last of that race. Some ancient texts refer to the Rephaim as the dead or dead kings. Like they kind of got all spooky with it. Like they would think of it as a poltergeist, and they would need to like give offerings to be appeased. So the giants, they kind of feared them, not just because of their size, but because there was this mystique they had about them.
Right.
That they kind of were spooky or something.
Yeah.
Okay, so then they're portioning out some of it. And you can read through that. The half tribe of Manasseh gets this, and different ones get that and this. But they're not done.
Mm-hmm.
So just because some of the tribes have some of their stuff, it doesn't mean they get to just go on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
They still have to help everyone else get their stuff. Okay, and that's the thing. But so from what I understood though, like they would like let their families stay, and the livestock and stuff, they could stay in the land that they had already taken.
Mm-hmm.
But the fighting men would still have to go and fight and help, which that made sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's do verse 21.
Okay. And I commanded Joshua at that time, saying, Thine eyes have seen all that the Lord your God hath done unto these 2 kings. So shall the Lord do unto all the kingdoms whither thou passest.
Yeah. So all the aforementioned battles were won before they crossed the Jordan. So back in the day, there was a lot, some of the battles were won with Moses at the helm.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was involved.
Mm-hmm.
And Moses was excited to see what God was doing, and he wanted to cross the Jordan. He was really excited because he knew, of course, Moses had faith. And so he really knew that what God said God would do. And all these people had to do was obey and go in and take the land. So Moses is really excited. And so let's go to verses 25 through 29. Let me see. Moses is talking to God here. He says, Let me go over and see the good land beyond the Jordan, that fine hill country and Lebanon. But because of you, Moses is blaming the people, but because of you, the Lord was angry with me and would not listen to me. That is enough, the Lord said. Do not speak to me any more about this matter. Go up to the top of Pisgah and look west and north and south and east. Look at the land with your own eyes, since you are not going to cross the Jordan. Okay, so what does that sound like? I mean, Moses is getting all excited. He's seeing the thing that he's worked for these last years, of his life.
Yeah.
And
then
it's
God
just
says,
there.
Yeah.
Because he struck the rock.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so,
man, Karen, can you imagine all the times we've disobeyed God? and what he could have done in that moment, but
Mm-hmm.
he had grace on us.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you look at this, it makes you a little taken aback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But God sounds like a parent who's had enough.
Yeah.
Don't ask me again.
Yeah.
So help me if you ask me again.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it really sounded like to
Yes.
me.
Yeah.
So he said, Moses, I've already told you you're not going.
Right.
And, you know, God has a standard. And I think it was Sister Mary, Brother Joe's wife, who said, others may, I cannot.
Mm.
So I think that was her.
Was she wondering
why there was okay for some people to do certain things?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I've wondered that too.
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah.
I've wondered why, because there are people that I believe are Christians, and maybe, I don't know, Karen, because I don't want to judge or anything like that, but it's just like, I wonder, why can they do that? I can't do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, so I get it. I see what
you're
saying there.
But God needed, I think too, God needed the people of Israel to know that when he makes a decree and he says something, he sticks to it.
Yeah.
Just because Moses was sorry and excited and all that didn't change what God had said.
No.
And God wasn't going to change just because Moses finally, sure, he was repentant about it, but God had already said, you're not going.
Yeah. That scripture that says God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. What his word says, that's what he means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, yeah. That's good to know. And so, anyway, Moses is to commission Joshua to encourage and strengthen him, for he will lead the people across and cause them to inherit the land. Okay. And so my takeaway, I have a little star in my notes. My takeaway is God gave them the land, but they had to fight for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's so much about obedience. And even, farther into the scripture, when Samuel said, I think it was with Saul, God desires obedience and not sacrifice. And it seems so simple, but it's not. And I think of that song we sang in church, Trust and Obey.
For there's no other way to be happy in Jesus than to trust and obey. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's faith in a nutshell. Wow. And that's our job. And it seems really simple, but it's not easy.
No,
it's not.
Simple. Yeah.
It's a simple idea.
Yeah.
But easy is different.
Yes.
So, anyway, that's the end of chapter 3. Yeah.
So, this has been Coffee with Janis and Karen. Y'all have a good day.